You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Shout out to Astapro for sponsoring this episode and providing us with free samples. Speaking of free samples, I am honestly so grateful because, as you know, this is allergy season in Texas. I think Texas is one of the worst places to live if you have allergies. I have this tree in my backyard. It is the cottonwood tree. I'm highly allergic to cottonwood, not only myself, but also Travis's, and I believe our children are. And Astapro has come in handy. It's a nasal spray, and it has made such a difference in my seasonal allergies. I feel like I can breathe, and it really helped relieve my symptoms quickly. Astapro is the first of its kind nasal allergy spray. It is the fastest 24-hour over-the-counter allergy spray. It starts working within 30 minutes, while other allergy sprays take an hour. And if you've had allergies, you know that every minute counts. Astapro delivers full prescription strength indoor and outdoor allergy relief from nasal congestion, runny and itchy nose, and sneezing. Get fast-acting nasal allergy symptom relief with Astapro. Go to asteproallergy.com for a discount so you can Astapro and go today. ASTEPRO allergy.com. Astapro and go. Use as directed for relief of nasal congestion, runny nose, sneezing, and itchy nose due to allergies. Hey guys, it's Stephanie Holman.
Hi, I'm Brandy Redmond.
And this is your weekly dose of BS. We have to get together sometime soon and do these in person.
Honestly.
Oh my gosh. What a I feel like this 2020 has been the craziest year we have ever had. I mean,
right?
I mean, just one thing after another after another. It's just been like almost a surreal year.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
Crazy. It's crazy. And you know, and I feel like it's like almost this outer body experience that even we're living in it. And it's like, no, is this really true? Has our world been really shut down and turned upside down? Really?
Yeah.
And it has.
Yeah, it really, I don't know if I've ever really experienced like so many back to back things, because you have the coronavirus, which is crazy and scary, and then you have everything going on in the world right now with George Floyd, the lady, and oh my gosh, did you guys see the one with the lady in New York? You have all these people that are just it's crazy, that are just treating each other horribly. And I want to have a voice, and I want to stand by everybody with the Black Lives Matter movement. But then at the same time, they're like, I don't know how they feel. I don't know how it is to be, the lady yesterday was like, you don't know how it is. I have the same dreams for my children as you do to yours, but my children have to jump through all these hoops. And I can't understand that, so I would like to listen and learn and be a better advocate, but it's hard because I don't even know where to really start besides just trying to spread awareness and be an ally.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's crazy because I feel like I've never really looked at anybody differently. Like, I feel like, when I was in school in Tennessee in public schools, like I was probably one of the only white people that were in the schools, and everyone else was Black. And I remember very clearly, like, just not feeling like any different. And they always treated me with so much kindness, and, they played with me. I never felt like
An outsider.
There was a difference. Right. So I can't imagine, you know, I just can't imagine how they feel, you know, and the things that they've encountered and what they've gone through. And, you know, and then I was watching something that someone posted, and it was about, you know, they were going to run a race for $100, and the person leading this kept saying things like, if you've ever, oh my gosh, it was things like, if you have ever had to help your parents pay the bills, if you have never had to help your parents pay the bills, take 2 steps forward. So then all of these white children stepped forward. Mm-hmm. They've never paid. Then if you've ever had your cell phone turned off because you couldn't afford to pay for it, please step forward. And, or, you know, so it was always, and there were Black students like in the back and just hanging out. And by the end of it, you know, it was like, you know, if you were struggling with work and you had a free tutor, please take 2 steps forward. And so, and at the end of this whole thing, the point is just to look back and see that you really truly have an advantage over, you know, the people behind you. And they wanted them to acknowledge that, and how unfair it was in life. And like, I just started crying in tears, because it's so sad. Everyone needs to acknowledge that, like, that we are all equal. We are all come from God, and we all started off in heaven, and we're here. And I think it's very, very sad that in this day and age that, you know, that we're still dealing with this. And someone also pointed out, I was having another conversation, that, you know, at the segregation, like, it's, you know, it still was going as of 1954. And like, my parents were around then. My parents were teen parents, so they were born a little bit after, but my grandparents, and then, but most parents of our generation, they were alive during that time and experienced and know what those people went through. And it's something that is taught. It's not like something that you're born with, because as a baby, you're so innocent. And so you have to be taught that behavior. Mm-hmm. And so I pretty much, like, it really kind of, you know, so we'll say that I feel like that this generation that we have right now, like yours and I's generation, I feel like this is the first time that, you know, of all the generations that have been, that we have set a different example and tone for our children.
Yes, I completely.
Because we're not carrying that with us, and we're not taught it.
Yes, I completely agree. And I also feel like I don't know. I usually am that person, especially on Instagram, if somebody's going and just like letting me have it. And I normally don't, you know, if it's like, but it's usually when people are like, I hate your mascara and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I have no time for stupidness. But like this time I really sat and like read things, and I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. I do not know how you feel. And like somebody was like, you know, how many, you know, Black children are at your kid's school, and it is so segregated. And if you really sit and think about it, I mean, I sat down and asked my children, I was like, you know, somebody asked me this, how many, you know, Black children are in your class, Chance? He said, you know, in 4th grade, there are 4. And Cruz said that he has like 2, and it is very segregated. And I think, you know, I have to agree with them, you know, with the people saying stuff. It is, regardless of how we want the world to be, it still needs to make changes need to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Every child deserves a good education. Every child deserves to have the same things you know, like every child deserves the American dream, and every child deserves to have a good life. I think if you really listen, you can learn a lot about how other people feel and about life.
So there were a few protests over the weekend in Dallas, and I think it was Saturday night. There was a small group of people that said that went around and destroyed a bunch of businesses and said they were looting and they were going to go burn down Highland Park and XYZ. And what makes me sad is that, so I think it was like 80% of the people that were arrested that night were not even from Dallas, but there's this small group of people that are looting and trying to put a bad name to all of the good that's being done with this.
Yeah, I
which is
agree.
so sad because looting's not doing anything for you. But there's just so much good that's coming out of all the protests, but the media is focusing on some of the bad stuff
negative.
because there are a few people that want to.
I think sometimes people take advantage of situations. So like the people
Absolutely.
that are looting are taking advantage of a situation where everyone's trying to protest and do good in the world. And then you have those small nut group of people that just make it into something it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad because
Because that's kind of what the media attention is getting, is that they're, demolishing Apple stores and restaurants, and that's not what this should be.
no, it's crazy. It is crazy, but I'm hoping that change comes. And I will say, I personally would like to come out of this, just learning a lot and having conversations with my children about, like I've sat down and had conversations with my children about equality. I don't know if I've ever really done that before, just flat out had like sit down conversations about what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Which I think was important. So I do think if you take it and really learn from it and try to educate people around you, I think it can be really, really empowering, and good can come out of it.
It's interesting because this has been, I guess, a hot topic in y'all's life for a while, kind of with the show last year, and there was the racism, and I think there's been a lot of learning through this. What do you feel like y'all have learned, I guess, through all, because y'all have been dealing with the stuff that happened with Carrie, and what do you feel like y'all learned through all of that?
I would say personally for me not to stay silent when something's uncomfortable. And that is something that I'd like to carry with me and teach my children to, to be strong even when you are in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, for me, having that pain of someone thinking that you aren't who you you are, that is very painful. So I understand, when people are saying you don't get it, like how this makes me feel. And because there's a lot of that, there's a lot of people saying you don't know this, you've always been privileged, X, Y, and Z. And you're right. Like, I don't get it. I do know what it's like for my parents to struggle. I do know what it's like, to not have the finer things in life. But I can say that I've never been discriminated against, due to my color.
Well, and I think it's a lesson of compassion.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. It's absolutely. And I think it's like, that's, I was just saying the other day, like, we need to find love and compassion for all of humankind. And I just think it's like, and I know y'all know, I think we're very faith driven, and I'm really pressing into, the Lord right now, and just trying to, praying for all of us in our country, and that people feel peace.
Absolutely.
When we come out of this.
No, I completely agree. But I do really feel for everyone who's going through stuff. Like, I can't imagine how George Floyd's family feels. I just cannot imagine. But I do hope that what happens sparks change and conversations, and the people, realize, especially the people that, like us, who really don't quite understand, because we have not lived what everyone else goes through. But I think to try to have that understanding and put yourself in other people's shoes and realize that that we have to stand up for everybody, and fight for other people. I think that's very, very important. And we have to teach our children to stand up for what's right and not just be silent because silence is so easy. I think you have to stand up for what's right in the world, because we want our children to live in a better world and than we are. And we want them to treat people with kindness and compassion. And we want them to believe in to live in a world of equality. That's very, very important.
Well, Stephanie, I love what you said about being silent isn't always the right thing to do, because it's the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely not always the right thing to do. And I think that's what we're seeing now, is that there are so many people that aren't being silent and sticking up for what is right. And Stephanie and I live really close to downtown Dallas, and this weekend was intense. But it's very heartwarming to see now the videos of the officers marching with people and not against them. And I think there is positive change on the other side of this. So I just remain hopeful.
Yeah.
No, me too. Me too.
It is crazy because, when we look at Martin Luther King, one of the greatest leaders in our history, and his words and his wisdom and, what he left behind, it's so impactful. And it's crazy because, and he is an example of how this hate has been such a pattern, him being shot. He was shot in Memphis off of his hotel balcony, and it's horrible. It's devastating. And then now today to see that there's such a pattern of similar behaviors and hate and we just have to, like you said, just rise up above it and not be silent. And all of us are really in this together. And if you're not, you probably need to get a reality check.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all about educating yourself, and this is, I think if nothing, it's a great time to educate yourself, and I think that's kind of what we're all doing right now. I know there were protests in Frisco last night. Have you had any of these conversations with your kids?
Yes, I believe the ones the ones here in Frisco were very peaceful.
Yes.
And I feel like it was probably a different type of, like people just coming together to support.
Right.
And I of course would have joined them, but I've got 3 kids and, I didn't have anybody to watch them. So,
yeah. So what conversations have you had with your kids about all this?
With my kids, they don't understand it. They really don't understand it. Like, to them, they don't notice a difference, and it is crazy because, they have, nieces or I have nieces and nephews. They have cousins that are mixed, and they have, or biracial, I should say. And so to them, it's just, they've never really
known the difference.
They've never known a difference. So I think it's important that they understand, but honestly, it scared Brinkley because she did not understand. She just didn't. She was like, why are they being mean? Why are they hurting people, and because I explained what had happened to George Floyd, and,
well, and it is a hard concept to grasp as a kid that there's a certain group of people that would be targeted, or, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
Because it's not right.
Right. And then Brooklyn, she was like, well, those people just need to go to jail. And then
meaning the police officers that do that.
Right. Right. The police officers, they just need to go to jail themselves, and maybe they need to rehire all new police officers that care. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like, I don't know what goes into becoming a police officer, but maybe there is like some type of compassion and kindness that needs to be added into their program.
You know what? This is kind of crazy. I saw this online, and this is just something I've learned over the last few days that I truly did not know, that you have to go through training longer to be a hairdresser than to be a police officer.
Are you serious?
I did not know that. I'd never heard that. That's interesting. I want to say, though, I do not think all police officers are bad. I think probably most police officers are they go into the field to be very kind and loving and to create change. I just think you have bad police officers, and I do think we need to 100% weed them out. Like the guy that is being charged with murder for this crime, he had 17 complaints against him. I just think you have to.
He shouldn't have been.
No, there comes a point where they have to look at
It's not the right profession.
No,
right?
No, and then look what happens.
It's like, 3 strikes, you're out, right? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
And these are people's lives that they're dealing with. But do you remember that movie Police Academy? When it was one of my favorite movies. Did y'all ever watch that?
I didn't.
I don't know. I think
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. But I always thought that that's how it was, in the police academy, with the way they work so hard to become a police officer. So I have no, and it looked really tough to become a part of. So guess I was wrong.
I mean, you want to believe most people are good, but there are always a few. But I think that,
But I think it comes with
a good time to spark change.
Yeah. And you know what I will say? I think it's a time for all of us to stand up for what's right. But I also think with the police officers, for them to really stand up to the bad ones and to weed them out as well, which if you look online, you see things that you don't see in the news. You see police officers standing with the protesters, kneeling with them, realizing that things need to change. You see that. And I wish that was shown more of, because I believe that there's, unity and people really trying to make a positive change. And I wish that the news outlet would show that as much as they do the negative stuff. Because I feel like when they only show the negative stuff, it makes the country even more divided.
Right.
And it sparks more hate instead of really trying to have, news outlets and media outlets that unify us. And, I wish that they did. I wish that they were equal in what they showed.
Right.
Well, if you guys are out protest this week, we pray that y'all stay safe.
Yes, please stay safe. And for those of you listening, we love you. I know this has been a really crazy, crazy, crazy time in the world, but I believe that if we all stay together in prayer and in positivity and really listen and try to make changes in the world, but also within our own lives and our own understanding, I believe that we can come out of this better, stronger, just better people in the end.
More unified.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much.
We love y'all. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.